Hi, gorgeouses. This is round two. I hope you can hear me now. Let's just wait for a few people to jump on. Hey, for those people who don't know me very well yet, welcome to this Divine Sacred Vortex. I'm Ingrid Anna, leading coach and strategist and healer and mystic. And I did a training yesterday, which is now a pinned post on the group. So you can go there and check it out. It's a 2-hour training on really what it takes to build your empire and how I made my first 150K over about 3 months once I got my show on the road and decided to ditch under earning. I was so done with scarcity. I was done with over giving. Hey, Sarah, can you hear me properly? Because I just had to come back and I put a mic on, so I hope you can hear me properly. So I really wanted to talk today just very quickly about the realistic sort of probability. Hey, Aniwaya. Hey, Chris. Hey, Megan. Can you guys hear me properly? Yes, you can. Woohoo! So much better. Okay. So how realistic is it to really make 10K quickly once applying, the high-end empire process? It can go at the speed of light, honestly. Like, I think when you've been caught up in so much scarcity, hey, Lana, it's sometimes really hard to process that you could put together a $3,000 package or a $5,000 package and start selling literally within days of joining. It's happened for many, many students. Who is it? Vanessa did 17K in her very first month. We've had Robin, Joanne, they did their first 10K in a matter of days. So how does that work? It's really about developing a really comprehensive program that your audience really loves. It's learning how to really deeply communicate with your audience so that they trust you. So they also really understand what it is you do. I see so many women not clearly articulating what it is you do. And it's like basically the first thing in marketing. If you want to really reach someone, you've got to speak to them. I was speaking to a divine woman today. She works for a lot of big global companies, teaching like heart healing methods. And she's also sharing her strategy with me on launching a $250 program. And I'm like, and I know that she does really well one month and that doesn't do very well the next month. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, that strategy is not going to really work. It's wonderful. And I said, unless you have a sugar daddy or a trust fund or a really bitch boyfriend or girlfriend that's going to give you 50 grand or 100 grand, that you're just not going to get the cash flow that you need to get out of this kind of fight, fly, up and down income roller coaster ride, right? So going a bit off on a tangent, but the other thing that I think that's so important is that so many women and divine entrepreneurs, hey, Sharon, hello and blessings to you too, kind of put so much energy into a program or a strategy that's never really going to completely take off. So selling high end allows you to get into that cash flow pretty much immediately. It's awesome. It's beautiful to see. And I've had so many women who've never sold high end. They don't have a program. They don't have a product yet. What you do want to have in place is a sense of, magic and mastery around how you can really help someone. And even if you're feeling a bit unsure about that, like how confident you are in your ability, I have to say, I'm sure, hey, Susan, you're a lot more talented and gifted than you're probably giving yourself credit for, right? So if you're just 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of someone, you can really hold space and deeply help someone transform. So, selling, say, $5,000 packages and 4 of them in your first month, that's also a possibility. Of course, I can't guarantee you that because it's really going to be up to you and how quickly you apply it, how you're showing up, how you're integrating the work. But it happens to the majority of our students at least start selling high end, maybe not doing a 20K in their first month. Many have, and many have done much more. But the majority of people start selling at least their 3 to 5Ks within, say, the first 30 days of joining. So it's so exciting to me because, wow, I am just overseeing so many women suffer, go around in circles and try to make a business strategy work that's really not going to work unless you have an enormous amount of cash flow to be able to create the reach, right? So if you have a smaller list size, even if you're just getting started, selling high end with full integrity and grace is your fastest path to really not only financial ascension for yourself and deep nourishment and more time, but you're really able to help someone at such a deeper level. It's really interesting. I want to be honest. I have a $35,000 package, right? That's for my CEO Diva Mastermind. So high-end empire at the moment is usually $6,000 paid in full and seven payments of $997, but we're doing a special on it at the moment where it's $5,000 pay in full or $997 by 6. But you really do have to get on a call with one of my divas to claim that. Otherwise, it's going up. How long does it take to go through the high-end empire program? Sarah, so that's a great question. So yeah, if you do want to speak to someone on my team, go to CEO Diva chat and get on that call. I think we probably were meant to be closing off that price, but I'll leave it open for another 24 hours. If you book in a call today, you might not get on a call until 5 days or 3 days time. But if you book in a call today, have a heart to heart. There's no pressure to buy. But really, in terms of going through the program, every two, I just saw my dad and my sister. Hi. Every 2 weeks, it's so funny. I had 4,300 or so people sign up for this latest training that we did. And my dad turned around and said, "How many divas, Ingrid? How many divas?" Like, he uses the word divas. It's so cute. Are you teaching and you speaking with? To go through the entire program, it's a few months because unless you pay in full, we stagger the content. So you get content every 2 weeks and you get a whole lot of bonuses also when you start. So you get all the divine healing meditations and prayers, but you get module 1. And module 1 on its own is worth it's more than worth, I say it's worth like $3,000. It's worth more than that. It's really comprehensive. You get swipe files and templates. We've got over 11 or 12 different offers that you can literally grab and take and then just put your own title and tagline on it. We've got weekend immersions, VIP days. We've got business strategy examples. We've got weight loss examples. We've got manifestation examples. So that whole curriculum there is like about 3 hours of video content. Then you've got all the, the swipe files and the templates. It's basically an 80-page book. What else? We've also got the 4 live calls every single week. Now, you don't have to stay in those calls for the whole time, but they're there for you. I just recently found out that, we're getting bigger and bigger, so we're adding even more calls so that we can just reach and speak to more people. But so what happens with those calls is, we just don't sit there and kind of brainstorm. That's part of it, but there is like direct feedback. And what we do is we have like a Google Doc and we get you to put up your offers or any questions that you have, and then the coaches go through the offers. So we even look at your offer, give feedback, show you where you need to tweak it. But the content is really comprehensive. So when people get in there, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so much better than I thought." Like, it's really deep. So we've really worked incredibly diligently to make this. Hey, gorgeous. Let me just get Famira. Hey, gorgeous. To make it really comprehensive and juicy for you. So that's 16 live calls. And so there's an accelerated learning. There's an accelerated ascension. And it's just so, hey, Lisa. Hey, we'll get you hooked up today. So that's just beautiful. People come to me having suffered so much loss, having coached with other coaches where they're still sort of like up and down and they really don't have the structure set up. And look, even if you were just making an extra $5,000 a month, how huge would that be? That could just easily be 2 offers at $2,497. That might just be 1 offer at $5,000. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's sacred. It's just so liberating when you really have the sense of not only confidence, but the knowledge on how to put it all together and how to really invite people in to take action. It's a very sacred energy that we hold there. Everyone is doing video. Everyone is practicing speaking on camera, really getting support from the community. So it's a really loving, nourishing, nurturing space. We do not tolerate any competition or weird energies. We are really, really, I'd rather release someone if any of that's going on, because I know what it's like to live in a world where sometimes there is this weird energy around women and competition. That's not there at all. It's a really loving vortex where every woman is there to support the other woman in the uprising. What else? I put up a link as well on this page. It says, check out the case studies. We have so many incredible stories, video stories that we've shared there on that link. So you can go there and watch about so many different women who've done incredibly well. I actually work in a little bit of a difficult industry, so to speak. So for example, we attract a lot of women who aren't earning that much. So that's actually, one of the hardest sort of sectors to some degree, to get someone who's sort of broken, burnt out, or sort of under earning into that next level of, say, over 50 grand a year. Like even someone at 50 grand a year is it's so much easier for me to help that person scale, right? So if we're getting people around, starting out for either from 0 or 30K a year, it's a harder kind of process, and we're really good at it. So the process works. If someone comes to me at 100 grand, I could easily help them scale to 500,000. It's just like they're at a different level of, they're not better than anybody else in terms of what they're able to provide their clients, but they're just a little bit more already skilled in the marketing process, and their mindset typically tends to be a lot higher, and so it's easier to help someone like that scale. And I've helped people go from 10K to 24K to 30K rapidly, and then go into like the 128K launches like Tarzan. Tarzan's now at 50K a month consistently. She's got 2 kids. Her partner really helps with, obviously Tarzan does too, but her partner really is a sort of stay-at-home dad, and Tarzan is that entrepreneur. And I've got about 3 or 4 or 5 other clients who've done that as well. Randina, Anu, Henna. It's beautiful to witness. And these are all really deeply talented, loving, visionary, gifted women who are bringing more love and beauty and healing to the planet. So it's this beautiful divine ripple effect. And my heart just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. In the other video that I did that I got cut off the sound wasn't very good. I was just speaking to someone who's interested in working with me at a higher level. And, she's trying to hustle a $250 product. And I'm like, if you don't have a trust fund or a massive list, chances are you're just going to burn yourself out, and you're not going to be able to have the reach. So we're looking at if she does decide to work with me, but I said you really need to look at doing a teacher training. You could launch, she's got a lot of expertise in heart healing and transformational deep work. And she's always wanted to do a teacher training. So I'm like, we can actually launch that within the next 7 days, and you can be immediately selling that, right? When you get your processes down, you become more and more confident, and you start raising your prices. You can keep raising your prices. You could do a membership platform as well. You can do your cheaper digital programs also. So we don't just focus on a high end, but high end is the best place to start to get the cash flow in, to get your experience in, to get the case studies, to do that deep level of work. And then you've got the capital then to diversify your business. That's what my husband and I want, to retire him so he can be a stay-at-home dad. Yes, I can't read all the rest, something about buying your kick-ass something or other. Absolutely, it's possible. So that's awesome. And you've just got to really educate yourself. I think if you want to get into riches, honestly, the best thing that you can do is educate yourself about the core business principles needed to move the dial on your revenue, honestly. Otherwise, what happens is you're just literally burning out on every level, not only financially, but energetically, on a soul level, physically. It burns you right into the ground. So you do not want to do that. And I get it deeply, because I did that myself for years until I was like, I just can't cope anymore. If you're at the level of I just can't cope anymore, in a way, I celebrate that for you, because I always say when someone's in that position, they're usually more willing to hear me. Like I was speaking to someone today, and I'm like, is she actually going to listen, or is she going to go off and try to figure it out on her own, or keep going with what she's doing because she's already started it? And I really hope she doesn't, because I know that the financial numbers and what's needed, it's not going to stack up for her. I had a client come to work with me privately recently, and she already had a business, and I told her, we've got to shift it, and it's just not going to fly. Love what she was doing, love the intention, love her, very talented, but it just was like a $90 a month offer, and it was just like not going to work. And she ended up selling like 2 spots, and so that was like $180 after spending all this money on ads, after hiring me. And I'm like, it's just not, like, spending a huge amount of money on an ad manager. She spent more money on her ad manager that she did on actually putting into her ads. And, 2 sales, $180. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You're going to be absolutely broke. It's devastating. And this is a really talented woman who has so much to share. So anyway, long story short, she'd used up basically all her time with me. And I'm like, I don't need to do this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you more time on top of our contract. But here's the deal. Until you get this into your head and you let yourself off the hook on the strategy that you're currently doing, and you're going to need to release feeling like a failure, because if you really want to serve these women, if you really want to serve your family, if you really want to serve yourself, we've got to shift the strategy. Because imagine, for example, if she had been selling a $5,000 or $10,000 mastermind and she sold those 2 spots and she sold 2 at $5K, that would have been a $10K return. Okay, she would have been okay, and she would have been able to take at least 50% of that income and then put it back into the business, right? And that wasn't the case. But anyway, now finally, she's gotten it. She's like, okay, I'm doing it, and already before even officially launching, people are lining up to buy this product. So it's just a whole different mindset shift, right? You're not taking from someone. You're not greedy. You're giving a deeper level of service. You're loving them up, actually, and you're doing and giving them what's best for them. And that comes at a price point. As long as you honor your word and give what you say you're going to give, then you're completely in integrity and in an alignment, both for yourself and for the client. Okay, great, Sarah, I can't wait. What do you do? We can't wait to welcome you in. So, it's just a very loving space. And I think making money online doesn't have to be hard. Freeing yourself and liberating yourself can be a beautiful, sacred journey. And how does that all happen? How do we go from a sense of force to flow? How do we move from a sense of fear to deep love? It's really important to be held. It's really important to be guided by someone who has started her business literally from borderline bankruptcy, which is when I lost my company in America due to fraud. And I had to come back home and start from scratch. And I was like, well, I tried the $150, $200 hour sessions, even the $600 packages, and all it did was make me a burnt out wreck of a woman, sitting there questioning my ability. And I just had enough, and I pulled on my big girl panties, got over my stuff, and started to build, and literally changed my business overnight. Sold my first $6,000 package. It was massive. It was huge. Thank you for explaining this. Oh, my pleasure, Nikki. So, we have a whole curriculum of modules. You get lifetime access. The first module's on packaging. Then we go deeply into sales. I just had someone put up a post. Her name's Bryony Whiteley. She put up a post today in the group saying she followed my sales strategy to the letter. And it just was like, it's just like, she's so excited. So we teach that deeply, the process, the scripting, everything. We teach funnels and packaging, my pages, my opt-ins, my free opt-ins, right? Whether it's a webinar opt-in, my Sacred Money Miracle program, which is basically on the link where it says case studies. There's also these 8 videos. That's some more training you can have for free. That was one of my very first opt-ins. They all converted at least like 70%. Do you want to speak to Chris? My sister might Yeah, my sister's just looking after my dad, taking him to the hospital today and stuff. She's wanting Chris. So it's really, really deep, comprehensive training. I've invested in that they invested in and fulfills the why. Yes, absolutely. Nikki, I'll have to read that a little bit more later. I love the healing. So thank you. I'm in the $1 Million Diva monthly. I'll be monthly hooked. Yes, we do also have a free month offer at the moment for our $1 Million Diva membership. It's a beautiful healing platform that I've been able to launch. And I was just saying to someone, like, I think memberships are great, but and I'm going to be doing some deeper training on memberships and platforms. But my membership, I wouldn't suggest starting there. I've been able to do that a couple of years into building my business. And the reason why it literally became a multi-six-figure business overnight was because I already had a list. I already had people that had been following me for a long time. I'd grown my list over the years. I'd cultivated those relationships, and people were just waiting for me to do a lower ticket offer. That's not normal if you don't have a bigger list, but you could do quite well from that as well pretty quickly. But I would absolutely still start with a higher ticket, and you could do both at the same time. I sort of segued into memberships then. So high end and memberships together can work really, really well. But anyway, guys, I'm sending you so much love. Don't feel nervous about getting on a call. There's no pressure to buy. It's just going to be a beautiful, deep, soulful chat. Get on a call and just see if we are a match. You can reach out to me personally. You can tag me under this video to ask me any questions. I just want to say it's all there for you. We are just sitting in such an abundant time, really. I know that there's chaos and so much destruction in the world, but also there's so much limitless beauty and love and abundance. And the word that's really coming, to the forefront for me right now is leadership. This is a time for us to rise into leadership. To take the suffering and make it our salvation, to take what we would perceive, as our weaknesses and make it wondrous, and take that mess and make it a miracle, make it a part of your sacred teaching so that you can pass it on. That sounds great for Mira. I'd like to hear more about it. You should join us if you haven't already. I had a call today and it was awesome. Just working out the money details. I feel so aligned. That's great, Jackie. So all you need, it might sound like a bit of a stretch for a few people, but all you need is 997 down. So get the 997 down, and basically we're also investing in you, and like we're backing ourselves to be like, okay, run with this and then keep paying us off. Like, make the money, right? Leadership, yes, needed for sure. Yeah, I am so committed to that. Like, that's why I use my voice. I use my story. I use my heart. I use my passion, and I speak the truth. And that is what is required. When you start to show up in that way online, what do you think happens? So many women have so much fear about being seen, but once you move past it, and you will move past it through practice and through deliberate intent and through continual consistency, call in the 997, Susan. You can do it, absolutely, because it's unparalleled. Like, I had a cheaper program called Six Figure Diva. It's 997, but it doesn't come with live support. So if you can buoy yourself, sell a program, sell a product, get someone to lend you the money, just do it, because I think, so many people are skeptical online. They're really concerned that the coach and people like me are going to be bullshit when you get into the community. But I have to just say, like, I wouldn't have the business that I have. I wouldn't have the testimonials that I have, the case studies, the incredible journeys that these women have gone on. Like, it's not a fluke. It's not something that just happens without you having a very comprehensive foundational business strategy, which is our program, High End Empire. So yeah, it's exciting. I feel very humbled. I feel really blessed. I feel so inspired by the work and by the women. And I feel like we're all expanding and growing together. And when, one woman lights a flame within her own life, she's able to pass it on and pay it forward. So I just feel like I'm personally part of a community that is just so juicy and potent, just incredible. And it's like all these divine souls coming together, and then we call it a vortex because it is a vortex, because the energy and the intent is so focused, and then everyone buoys each other up into a new dimension, into a new reality. Where, you know, I was saying yesterday in my training, like I used to think $1 million, I used to think $100,000 was a lot to make in my business. Then when I reached $500,000, I thought, wow, you know, and then I reached over $1 million, and now I'm like, oh, it feels like so small, because it's not about the money as much as the reach. Like if I can have a reach, if I serve just 500 people a year, which is nothing, you know, the business is 3 million. If I'm serving 1,000 people a year, depending on what price point the program is, you know, it's huge. So it's like almost once you've got your basic income paid for, like you're, you know, and you have a pretty comfortable life, you're not in that scarcity anymore, and you're able to do more, you're able to give more, and you're able to do it from a place of really deep nourishment. One of my divine calls and activations within myself that I'll just share as I wrap up is that as I make more money in my life, the richer I become, the more I serve, the more students I have, the more global reach I make, I have more time and more space and more nourishment and more radiance, right? I have more play. Like, so building a bigger business, once you learn the core strategies, right? And you have a team, like I'm sitting here with these beautiful souls. I'm just hiring 2 more people, and I have a team around me. That is only come through scaling my business. And I can, like yesterday, I'm like at gymnastics with my daughter Aria. I'm doing all these things. Today at 1 o'clock, we're stopping and I've got acupuncture, and my team's got acupuncture, and I'm able to do things like that. I'm able to help people who, you know, have lost significant people, you know, like lost someone in their life and they're left with nothing and they're destitute because they didn't look after their own finances on their own and they left it to their partner. And I'm able to help people at a deeper level. And yeah, it's awesome. So the more money you make, or that you can chant it, but just see it and feel into it. The more money you make, the more space you have, the more that you can contribute, the more nourishment you have, the more time you have with your family. Yeah, and I do sit around in my life and think, you know, oh my God. And one of the other core shifts that I really made with all of this too is, and I share this maybe in my $1 Million Diva membership group, but really honestly, at the end of the day, of course I love, you know, like selling is so important, and being able to sell with grace and heart and passion. But I sort of, this sounds a bit weird, we're talking a lot about money, but if you focus more on the service and how you can support another human being, get what they need, right? And really love them. Like I was speaking, this is something private that I shared in my VIP intensive in New York with my clients. And I said, imagine literally, and I gave one of them a beautiful hug. And I said, this is what it feels like. If you could feel like that, and like really hugging and holding someone dear and close to you in a loving embrace, like it comes from love. That's what my sales strategy is about. It's not trying to manipulate or force or contort anyone. It's about loving. And so when I'm speaking, it's really about love coming from my heart and my throat chakra and out into the world. That's how I do it all. And I focus on every day, how can I serve? What needs to be said? What do I need to really communicate to make an impact? Of course, yes, and I have a program and my products set in place that makes sense, that makes strategic sense, so that I'm not a burnt out wreck of a woman and I'm not in servitude and sacrifice. And that's all there. So I don't really have to worry about that because it's already set in a structure that if someone wants to work with me, it's very streamlined, right? And I'm not like discounting my work, right, any longer. And I did that for years, I get it. But so the focus is then on the communication and the service, not the sale. And automatically then, because I'm not afraid of selling, and I really want people to join my program because I know I can deeply help them and I don't feel guilt about that. And this is what I teach as well. I'm constantly making sales. And when my husband then turns around to me and says, oh, this is how much we did this month, or we've hit this much in our PayPal or whatever, I'm a little bit like, oh, wow, really? Because, you know, I'm not fixated on the amount. What I'm fixated on is the service. Do you hear what I'm saying? Service that's not in discounting, service that's purely connected to making sure I get the reach, delivering on my word, and making sure that I don't discount on something that is fucking awesome. And you need to be doing the same thing. So every day, be consistent. Have a product that really values the work, that really delivers on the promise. And you got a beautiful divine recipe for really rapid financial ascension, but also a service-based ascension where you will become a global, divine, sacred leader in your own right. Qualified veterinarian nurse by trade, but my desire is to be a business owner and manifest what that will be with my sole interests. I would be one of those hard cases. I don't believe you're a hard case. Like, why? Yes, I have worked with so many different women in so many different areas, and you've got a lot of that's done. You've got a lot of sacred gifts that you're not mentioning right now. So I want you to go away and really write a list of all your superpowers and all the things that you've been able to do in your life, from your veterinary nurse experience, but more than that, because you know you're gifted, you're intuitive. You've got a lot to express. There's something around mothering energy that you've really learned. So I really want you to go away and really think about your gifts as a woman, as a soul, as a spirit, as well as everything that you've learned through your education, through your experience, through being a veterinary nurse. And I don't think you're a hard case. I've been doing this for a long time now, and really very quickly we could download a process and an offer that would be very aligned to you, Dern. I'm increasing my prices this weekend because I believe I provide a great and superior service. That's what Rose Blee says. And I think I should get more for what I do. Amen. Bring it on. Do it. So how does that feel? And how does it feel when someone says, yes, yes, send me the PayPal link. Yes, yes. Where can I pay? Yes, 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 yes. Holy fucking yes. You know, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking that people are going to reject them or not buy. But what if they say yes? What if they say yes? Yes, I'm so happy that you showed up. I've been praying for someone like you to show up, right? I just raised my prices for my CEO Diva Mastermind because I was going to shut it down. And I thought, what would it take for me to offer an even deeper level of service? So there's a little bit of done for you in copy and messaging so people can get their funnels up, you know, and not just a funnel, because you need a funnel obviously that converts. So very high level funnel. Anyway, the price has gone up. It's a deeper level of an offer. And energetically, I'm totally, oh, bless, gorgeous. Kisses, Dern. Reach out to me personally if you want to answer any questions, or you can go to CEO Diva Chat and set up a call, and those people there are divine on my team, and they'll be able to guide you even more. I was just going to say something too, like, you know, life goes by so quickly, but even for myself, like, you know, I set this intent and I thought, well, what feels good to me? What feels nourishing? And I've added in a couple of day intensives with people in person, and I don't want to go to America. My dad's dying. He lives with me. He's got bone cancer. I don't know how much longer he's got. We're looking at his pelvis breaking, and we're doing radiation. There's just a whole lot of shit going on in my life in terms of that, right? So that it's not, I don't want to go back to New York. I don't want to go to LA at the moment. People can come to me. And as I was doing my training yesterday, I put out this intent. I'm running a retreat in October in Byron Bay, which is the most easterly point in Australia, on the beach. And I was going to be doing this immersion. I already sold a couple of spots, but I've decided to cut it in half, the price. And I'm doing a Friday night integration, deep healing on the beach, like full on shamanic healing work. Then we're going to be doing business and strategy. And already, like, I was downloading it. And then on my training yesterday, people are asking me about a retreat, which I didn't even mention. And I will, like, that will just flow. Like, I can feel it vibrating in my body that's an absolute yes. So I've cut the price in half just because I want to reach more people. And a few of the people that paid me bigger offers, I'll just reach out to them and do some private stuff. But then with my bigger offer, which is $35K, within 24 to 48 hours of crafting that offer, I've got people lining up to pay me that amount of money. Like, you know, we've got payment plans or whatever, but it's just that I've set that clear intent, and I'm like, this is what it is. Like, this is the investment. If people want that access to me, they want me on Voxer. You know, I help people make money very, very quickly through just that Voxer, their messenger support and whatnot. So, you know, you look at it all and you look at the value, and it's just this deeper honoring. And I've had to work on that as I've grown and grown and grown. You can hold a certain level and you'll feel very uncomfortable about a certain amount of money because you're not there yet. That's okay. You want it to stretch you, but not send you into complete overwhelm where you begin to reject your own prices. That's not good. So you want to be able to sort of the amount of money, you want it to stretch you, and then you can raise your price from there. I have this problem and I start doubting. What's the problem, Amelia? You know, doubt is just ego. Like, you know, what dimension do you want to live in? You don't want to, you know, berate yourself or poison yourself or hate on yourself because you have doubt. It's part of the journey sometimes in life, but really everything, millions of dollars, you know, are there for you. Millions of clients are there for you over the next, you know, 10 years, or thousands of clients will just do it. A couple of hundred clients would make you incredibly well off, right? So it's there for you. Amelia, you're a divine superstar. That poisonous thinking, you just got to breathe through it, babe, and just say, I release it, I release it, I release it, I release it, I come back to love. I used to walk around chanting every single day, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I'm a holy divine diva, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Like Brianna, I attract people who say yes and they can't pay. Yeah, but okay. So on some level, so what Amelia said is, like Brianna, I attract people who say yes and then they can't pay. Well, also, okay, what shift would you need to make within your own self in order to ensure that energetically you're in alignment with them deeply, deeply paying? Because there is a part of you that is rejecting the sale. Because you can't control someone else's behavior. There are specific strategic things that you can do to get someone to commit to the payment. But I will tell you, first off, number one, your boundaries are off. You're not fully activating the person in order to get them to really commit to their own selves. So your dialogue and your frequency and the way you actually close a sale needs to be radically improved. I am very, very clear about the money. So what I call that is your high money IQ, how you want someone to treat you. And at the end of the day, it comes first and foremost is your relationship with yourself. People, sometimes you guys, you're kind, you're gifted, but, and I've had this go on with me, is where people discount you. They because you're not really completely, fully owning your power. On some level, you're rejecting self, maybe without even realizing it. And therefore, that person's behavior, that prospect who said that they were going to commit, then rejects you. Hey, gorgeous Tarzan, I was just talking about you before, rejects you as a representation of your relationship with self. So if you are inviting someone to buy, you know, I would first of all start chanting a very clear mantra on people pay me, they lovingly pay me, they excitedly pay me, and they commit, right? They commit to the payment and they're excited to pay. But yeah, you do need to set up your sales process really in a streamlined way to make sure that people honor your process. So hey Michelle, hey gorgeous. So when I used to do I don't really do many sales calls anymore. My team does them. But when I used to sell, I've created a lower price offer for that reason, which has some really good, it's been really good for me. It's a digital evergreen product, but now I realize I stopped selling my higher offer. I think the higher price offer needed to be tweaked I was getting burnt out. Yeah, you're probably overgiving in the higher offer, and the universe is probably working for you and protecting you because you're undercharging for what's involved. And that means that you're out of alignment. And so basically, if it was working for you, if life is working for you, it's saying to you exactly what you've just said, which is, I need to get my shiz together and up the ante on my vibration, get my pricing in order, and then you will sell. Like when I said I put my new 35 grand offer together, my 25 grand was out of alignment. I don't want to do a 15 grand anymore. I have a 15 grand offer. The 15 grand offer is Rich Diva along with private coaching. That private coaching is with my team. It's not with me. People want access to me. They can invest the 35K over 9 months. That's just how it is. And I feel really good about it. I'm really in alignment with it. I'm really happy with the offer. I think the offer is massive. And it's all good. And so because I'm all good with it, I'm really clear about who it is that I'm going to be working with at that level, the flow is there, you know? And what does it take me to get in that state of flow? It's really deep level of love, self-appreciation, gratitude. I call it like this beautiful divine, it's like a crystalline, beautiful energy where there's no resistance also to receiving. Like I can receive from my work. I deserve to receive to my work. I used to overgive. I overgive for years. Even when I started making money, I'd give and give and give and give. And I mentioned $1 Million Diva. One of the issues there was around, it was like a security thing. It was like a survival mechanism on making sure everyone really liked me like that, and that I wouldn't get attacked by anyone not being happy with me. So I just give and give and give and give. So it was a fear-based consciousness that was really underlying that pattern of behavior, and that pattern of behavior has gone on for me for decades. So rather than attacking myself for that or feeling bad about it, I just have to have that deep sense of awareness, and I go into rapid divine release, and then I go into a new platform of vibration where I'm very clear, and that type of behavior no longer exists in that realm of consciousness where I'm like done with that story. I'm so done. Amelia says she's been doing her mantras daily, and I have a shirt already. That's great. I felt a shift. I thought you said a shirt, that you got a new t-shirt. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. That's what I need to have on my t-shirt. Anyway, guys, hey, Nikki, I'm sending you so much divine love. If you do want to speak to someone on the team, book it at CEO Diva Chat. The other page is just case studies and videos, case studies, just because we didn't do a solid pitch. You'll be getting emails as well if you did sign up for the webinar, full of testimonials as well, so you can see the journey. But yeah, I've had so many different women come to me at different levels, but I've had a lot of women in Struggleville. I know that Molly came to work with me. She's now, I think she did about 100 grand in 4 months. Abby, 185 grand in 4 months. It's all there for you as well. Oh, loving your energy. It shifted. It's more softer and more potent in your feminine. Yeah, it is. I think it is. I'm also tired today and I've got a cold. I also am really comfortable in my fierceness when it's needed to be needed. I'm not very good with ongoing repetition of suffering. That's not what I'm here for. So sometimes I clearly will say to someone, and I do it with my child, I've done it in my relationship with my man, I've done it with my staff, and it's just stop. Stop with the, it's just, you need to stop. And I wish someone had said that to me when I was going through my frigging freak out every single other day for a few years, especially when I lost my business. Just stop, you need to get grounded. This pattern of behavior is not going to lead you to where you need to go. I think another part of me that shifted, and it's something that I really want to share as a wrap up now and invite it into your own life. I'm just surrendered. Like I'm just so, I'm clear on my path. I'm clear on what I want to give. I'm clear on what my purpose is. I'm excited. I'm lit up, and I don't feel that I need to force anything. And I think that every single person has a soul path, and every person is responsible for themselves. And so I'm not in a rescuing energy. I believe honestly that each individual soul has to make their choice. And I could sit here for 5 hours, and at the end of the day, you've got to tap into your own inner self knowing, not your ego, the truth of your own journey and path. And you've got to make a choice. Because I certainly have to make choices pretty much every single moment. How am I going to live? How am I going to respond? What's my next step? And I will say what really leads me forward is my vision. I have a very, 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 very clear vision on what I'm meant to be doing in this lifetime as a soul in this body, right? And that vision has helped pull me out of my fear, out of my chaos, out of my doubt, out of my self-hatred, out of my victimhood, out of my drama, to propel me forward at a really rapid rate. So if you're not clear on your vision, get really laser lucid clear on what it is you want to create, and that will always pull you forward into a new future realm of dimension that is exactly that, honestly. If you don't know where you're going, it's pretty hard to create it, right? If you look at a quantum physics realm, how, if you want, the molecular cellular structures of everything have to come together and coagulate to create a physical reality. It's pretty hard to create that when you're not clear. So get clear, spend some time writing, channeling, visualizing, tuning into, well, if I could have anything, what would that look like? What would that be? Okay. I hope I've served you today. A million blessings. I'm going to go. My husband's on a sugar-free diet at the moment, and I've been sent out to go and get him some sugar-free ice cream. So I better go do that. And I'm sending you guys so much love. Bless, bless, bless. Mwah. Kisses.